Hey folks, welcome to the show. Getting some wicked glare off my glasses from that ring light there, because this is a different setup. You got the map of Middle Earth in the background, so that's pretty cool. It's not the ideal one. Hopefully audio comes well through. The camera might be a little slanted. It's hard to tell, and it's been in pain to set it up because I'm not good at these things, so I think it's good enough. But the Oilers were more than good enough tonight, as we discussed their 8-3 victory over the Buffalo Sabres. So it didn't always seem like it. Today I am wearing a jersey I just picked up at the St. Andrews thrift store that I volunteer at in Spruce Grove. It's a Jordan Eberle jersey. And the reason I bring it up is because it's number 14, which is my lucky number, and more importantly, the number of today's first star. If you know who that is, awesome, good on you. If not, that's okay. You'll learn as we get right into it. So as I said, it started off pretty bad. The Sabres came out and controlled the game well, which included a goal 98 seconds into the first period. It's JJ Peterka on my fantasy team, so I wasn't complaining too much, but was still mad. He scored his 22nd goal of the year. He's assisted by Tage Thompson and Alex Tuck. The Sabres continued to dominate in a lot of ways, and when the Oilers got chances, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who has had an excellent season, as discussed before, made amazing saves, and it brought to mind that, oh no, is this how the Oilers go into a losing streak? We haven't really had a notable losing streak since the winning streak, since Woodcroft, really, and it's just kind of felt like, oh, this is where it is. We barely got by the Montreal Canadiens, and it has not been long since we were upset by the Buffalo Sabres themselves. It's only been 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, when the Sabres themselves beat us 3-2 in a shootout. At least in that case, we got a loser point, and this time it didn't feel like it because the Sabres offense was rolling, our defense was struggling, our entire team was struggling, and Buffalo's goaltending was amazing. But hey, it was only the beginning of the first period. Oh, look, Buffalo scored. It's Rasmus Dahlin. But hold on. It's called back for offside. Yes, we have a chance. And then Buffalo scores again. This time it was looked at again for high sticking, but it was proven to stand as a goal just over 16 minutes into the first period. Victor Olofsson is credited for his 7th goal, and he's assisted by Bo Byram and Rauzik. Okay, 2-0 lead. Obviously, the Oilers can't come back from this. It's only the first period, but it just felt like we got to survive this first period. There's got to be some kind of positive. And then it did happen. The Sabres take a penalty. I didn't write down the penalties this time around, just for a shorter video and that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll put them back in. I'm also using this as an excuse because I forgot to put them in, but I don't think it's like a huge matter. But the Sabres do take a penalty less than 2 minutes left in the first period, and it results in a Leon Draisaitl power play goal with 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the first period. It's his 35th goal of the year, and he's assisted by Bouchard and Nugent Hopkins. Okay, 2-1. That's not nearly as bad as 2-0. Edmonton did outshoot Buffalo 16-13 in that first period, but it still felt like Buffalo outplayed us because, 1, they were up 2-1, and 2, they had better high-quality shots than the Oilers did, but that wouldn't hold true, as the final score tells you. Second period comes around, and the guy who really sparks the Oilers' victory, the guy who wears number 14, scores 4 minutes and 26 seconds into the second period. It's Mattias Ekholm, the 6th goal of the year, and is assisted by Bouchard and McDavid. Now, Ekholm is pretty good puck carrier. He's a great passer. He's got a good shot, but he's best known as a defensive defenseman. So you don't really expect a guy like him to pull out a toe drag move and to snipe it past the goalie who had been stoning us. But that's exactly what he did. He toe drags a Buffalo defender and snipes it past the guy out of a goalie who has not just been stoning us, but a lot of teams. And I was just like, what? Awesome. That's just, that's not really his game. You know what he's capable of scoring, but not like that. And it was, at least for me, it was just, and the guys watching with us, it's like, wow, That was Mattias Ekholm. Again, who we respect, we love, and we know he has offensive capabilities. It's just toe drag move. I mean, great, but he wasn't finished there. He was one of our better defensemen. He would prove to, as he always is, he would kill penalties really well, along with Nurse and Kulak. Bouchard even had a shift on the penalty kill, but we'll get to that. So that was, I think in case I didn't mention, he was assisted by Bouchard and McDavid. You'll hear McDavid's name a lot. He did hit a milestone today that nobody's talking about, and I'll do a short on because it needs to get around. It's a milestone I've been looking forward to for a while. But anyways, so it's like, okay, we're back in this tie game, and there's a lot of back and forth until Buffalo breaks through. It's JJ Peterka again for the second time, giving the Buffalo Sabres a 1-goal lead, and he's assisted by Clifton almost 17 minutes into the second period, and it's his 23rd of the year. Great, we're down again, but we've already come back from a 2-0 lead. 1-goal lead isn't too bad to come back from, and for the second period in a row, the Sabres allow a goal in the last 2 minutes. I don't know if they allowed goals in the last few minutes of the last game, but I mean, in this game, they allowed a goal 65 seconds left in the first, and then they allowed another goal 48 seconds left in the second. It's Zach Hyman scoring his 47th of the year, and he's assisted by Mattias Ekholm. I know this is an Eberle jersey, I mentioned that, but number 14, and Connor McDavid. None of those guys are done, by the way. Buffalo did outshoot the Oilers slightly, 11-8, but the Oilers now had a lead going into the third. So, the Oilers had been a very good third period team, but they've shown some weaknesses in the third period, most notably when the Sabres had an excellent third period, an excellent OT period to give themselves a victory. So it was like, okay, we just got to make sure we are better than the Sabres in the third period. Well, we dominated. The shots in the third period were 15-5 in terms of in favor of Edmonton. That's 75% of the shots, and Skinner saved all 5 of those shots. And Luke Conan did not save all 15 of the shots he faced. He saved only 10. The Oilers explode for 5 goals, all even strength. First, it's 4 minutes and 38 seconds in the third. It's Darnell Nurse. It's his 9th goal of the year. It's assisted by Troy T. Stetcher. It's escaping me. We'll just go with Stetcher. It's his first point with the Oilers. And then just a minute later, Mattias Ekholm's back on the board. It's his 2nd goal of the game, 7th of the season, assisted by Draisaitl and McDavid. And then it just kind of felt like right there, that was the killing blow. Nurses would hold as the game winner, but it just kind of felt like, oh, sorry, I did mention the Oilers were leading in the second, but it was actually tied at 3. My apologies, my bad. But now the Oilers were in the lead. It was a 5-3, and it just kind of felt like it's over. But the Oilers weren't done. The Oilers were not done. And it's not really a point of them, some people can complain when you run up the score. Absolutely, it happens in hockey. But it's not like the Oilers were like trying to score. They just were trying to not have Sabres shoot on them, and the best way to make sure the Sabres aren't shooting on you is by shooting on them, and they weren't doing much in terms of stopping what was coming, because there's 3 more goals that happened in the last 5 minutes of the third period. At 15-18 into the third, it's Zach Hyman scoring his 2nd of the game, 48th of the year, and he's assisted by Draisaitl and McDavid. And then a minute and 40 seconds later, Ryan McLeod gets on the board after a steal from Connor Brown, who assists him. And Connor Brown decides he wants in. With 9 seconds left in the game, he gets his 2nd of the year. Not as big as an ovation this time. And he's assisted by Sam Carrick and Cody Ceci. That's not something a lot of people thought they would say at this point, where you say Connor Brown scores with assisted by Sam Carrick and Cody Ceci. We will absolutely take it. And the game ends with an 8-3 shellacking of the Sabres via the Edmonton Oilers. Shots were a dominant 39-29 in favor of the Oilers. The Oilers also hit the Sabres 33-28 and dominated the face-off circle with 59.6% in the faceoff circle. Draisaitl was 10 for 15. The Oilers were 1 for 2 on the power play and a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Skinner was 26 for 29 and Luukkonen 31 for 39. Just an amazing third period, one of the best third periods they've had. It was definitely one of the most fun games to watch. The Washington win, the 7-2 Washington win, was still more fun, which also involved a Connor Brown goal. But this one was really fun because it wasn't Connor McDavid or Draisaitl. All those guys combined for 7 points. You still got to see the superstar score, but you saw McLeod get on the board. You saw Brown get on the board. You saw Nurse and Ekholm combined for 3 goals. Ekholm had a 3-point night. It was a really complete effort outside of the first period, and that kind of made it a bit more fun. Is that they turned a 2-0 deficit into an 8-3 win. That's a 7-1 swing, 7-1 swing, and the Oilers. I think this says more about the Sabres than the Oilers. The Oilers scored in the closing minutes of all 3 periods that I was leading to. They scored with 65 seconds left in the first. They scored with 48 seconds left in the second and 9 seconds left in the third. And again, it wasn't because they were like super desperate to score. It was just Sabres seemed to have lost all energy, and especially with the Hyman goal, and just kind of kept coming. And when it rains, it pours sometimes, as the saying goes. So I'll talk a bit about the goalie. Skinner, he had an average game. Goalie is expected to be above average, but he was pretty average, and that was good enough. None of the goals against him I was like really mad at. The first 2 were more defensive issues. The third one was really weird. Peterka was shooting very close in from the net. So 1, he shouldn't have been there, so that's a defensive issue. And 2, he was shooting high, well, not super high, but high. But CC's stick, he tried to push Peterka's stick, and that proved to be a mistake because it meant the puck direction went kind of weird. It went much lower, so it slid under Skinner's pad. So that is more of a defensive mistake, but I think Skinner could have also. It's hard to really excuse a puck that goes under a goalie's pad because it's not often. Though it was a pretty easy to misread that shot still. But he was still okay. Luukkonen had a chance of goaling the Sabres, but it felt, I don't know how much of it was him or the Sabres that blew up first. Not really the competition. And when I mean blew up, I mean this in a negative light this time. They both just kind of crapped the bed. Luukkonen will recover, I assume. He's had an incredible season. I don't think this is going to ruin it for him. But that was a pretty ugly start for an otherwise phenomenal goalie. Oilers 3 stars. It was easy to choose the first 2 stars. The third star was hard to choose because there's lots of honorable mentions. First star I've been alluding to was Mattias Ekholm. He had 2 goals, 1 assist, 5 shots on goals, 2 hits, a block, and some solid shorthanded time. He sparked the Oilers' offense and was our best defensive defenseman of the night. So, had to give it to him. His second goal you've probably seen online. It was a tic-tac-toe play between him, McDavid, and Draisaitl. Beautiful pass by Draisaitl, who had the primary assist. McDavid, he had 4 assists, and more importantly, 4 hits. The reason I say more importantly 4 hits is because for the first time in his career, he has 100 hits in a season. So congratulations to Connor McDavid with the true milestone that really matters. Don't ever let anyone tell you you're not physical. He now has 102 hits on the season. He still hit 100 points before 100 hits, but he got 100 hits. Nobody else is doing that. I remember Paul Bissonnette saying Nathan MacKinnon is the most physical of the superstars. Nathan MacKinnon does not have 100 hits. Again, all respect to MacKinnon. He is a tough guy. He can hit. We've seen it, but McDavid has 102 hits, and it's growing. I eventually decided for the third star was Draisaitl. His line, whenever he was on, whether he was with McLeod and Fogle or with McDavid and Hyman, dominated. He controlled, well, the Oilers controlled 90% of expected goals according to Money Puck while he was on the ice. So that's what gave him the nod over everyone else, as well as the fact that he had a goal and 2 assists, a block, and as aforementioned, 10 for 15 in the face-off circle. In terms of honorable mentions, I'm just scrolling down on my computer. Nurse, he had the game winner, as said, and had 8 hits and 4 blocks. Very physical, strong game from him on the penalty kill and even strength. Hyman himself had 2 goals, 8 shots on goal, and 2 hits. And Connor Brown had a 2-point night, 1 goal and 1 assist. I mentioned Bouchard had a penalty kill shift. We don't see it much these days. He's proven to be a decent penalty killer in the past. He's not used there these days because, one, there are better options. Not because he's bad, but there are better options on the penalty kill, like Ekholm, Nurse, Desharnais, CC. It's just there are different kinds of defense, and Bouchard doesn't excel in the defense required for penalty killing. He's more of an intelligent defender than a physical defender. But he had 54 seconds of time on the penalty kill because Desharnais was out and CC was in the penalty box for this. And I thought it was pretty good. He killed one of the Buffalo chances, so he's certainly a capable defender, and I'd love to see him get more penalty kill time, but I'm not like fighting for it because it's much better to have him on the power play and even strength. Just going to tap my phone for the 10% thing. Hopefully I don't think that got in the way. 10% low battery, I mean. So wanted to note that. I don't always bring up the deserve to win meter because there is a certain Oilers fan who brings it up too much unironically. Most guys kind of bring it up ironically. It's a decent stat. I like it for Money Puck, but I don't use it too much because it's not like, at the end of the day, matters who scored more, right? But I am bringing it up because the Oilers had a 69.2% on the deserve to win meter, just testifying to their complete dominance. That if you didn't understand the dominance for dominating Buffalo in terms of shots, hits, and face-offs and special teams, the score should tell you 8-3 score. So again, amazing game, awesome game, very fun to watch, and I had a great time with my friends and Dad there too. So many good positive things to come away from. I think I mentioned them all, but I there's just so much to list, and yeah, I did get them all. If not, I am going to put the 100 hits thing in a short right away here, but that's it for me. Please like the video if you think I've earned it. I think I have. Comment your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe and turn on notifications. I will see you when I see you. I am going to be in Southern Alberta this weekend, so I should still be able to watch the Oilers Toronto Maple Leafs game Saturday night at 5 p.m. local time. My time, not Toronto's time, when I mean local time. Because one, that's a pretty important game, and two, it's going to get some views, I would imagine. But we'll see how it is when we get there. I will absolutely get a review up, no question. And again, thank you so much, and I will see you later.